So, welcome to my channel. I am Art Walker and I will be taking you through how I draw eyes like this. So if you're not familiar with my work, you should check out my YouTube channel. You should check out my TikTok if you're not following already, because I do have quite a few tutorials, and they could range from drawing the body, different body parts, anatomy and stuff like that. But today I'm going to touch on how I draw eyes like this. So if you are keen on learning the steps I take to draw eyes like this is a little bit more kind of, let's say, anime style. Not so much anime, but slightly more half realistic, so to say. And this is more realistic, the style, but they are interchangeable with regards to whatever techniques we use here, we can use them here. So if you're not, if you can't draw eyes, let me know. I would be quite happy to run a little bit of a challenge with you, because I will pretty much guarantee that within the next 15 or so minutes, you will be able to draw eyes. So who in the chat cannot draw eyes? That's what I want to know. Who in the live stream cannot draw eyes? Gelchen, wie geht es dir? Definitely me, Skatey. Okay, that's one. This is what I like to see. I like people that are honest. And obviously, Skatey, you are very honest. So you can't draw eyes. Who else? Anyone else in the live stream that can't draw eyes? Unless it's just me and you, Skatey. We just have to do it together. So I'm going to show Skatey. It's just, this is like a, I suppose you could call it. Oh, here we go. There's another one. I can't draw eyes either. I'm here, yeah. Oh, good. Okay, so we got a couple of people out of 15 that cannot draw eyes, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the steps I take, and I'm guaranteeing you within the next 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be a changed person. How am I going to do that? Let's start with, have you got, oh, thank you, Lucas. Have you got a pen and a paper, or pencil, in fact? I use pens. As you can see, I use pens a lot, and I practice a lot with the pen. And it also helps my viewers to see the work, because I use colored pens as well. So that's why I use these basic pens. This one's actually broken, still works. How do you do eyes? Yes, we will get there. Guten Tag, Gelchen. Wie geht es dir? Good. So let's get into this. First of all, hopefully we will touch on how to draw eyes, and then we can maybe do a little bit with regards to symmetry. So let's get into this. Now, I'm going to draw an eye very simply here, right? Just watch what I do so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and I will take you through my basic steps. And I should have checked the time, actually. So I'm just going to blaze through this quickly, just to show you how quickly you can draw the eye. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the steps as to how I did draw this eye. So I'm flying through this. I always tend to draw the left eye, but this is something we can alter very, very quickly. Pupil, iris, and so on. And I will show you also how to add lashes and so on. So as you can see, this didn't take me very long. I'm going to add a few more details just to show you how quickly it can be drawn. I haven't got a reference, actually, so this is all from memory. I'm going to make it look a little bit tidier, so it's not too scrappy. So there you go. So this was an eye that I drew in roughly, let's say 2 to 3 minutes, not even, right? pretty accurate. And obviously, if you put the more work you put into it, the more accurate you can draw the eye and so on. But I don't want to bore you with a long-winded example of how to draw eyes. So that's our goal today. Our goal is to be able to draw eyes as quickly as possible. So the way I started this is where you guys come into play now. More cartoonish style. Yeah, that's well, if you can draw eyes like this, cartoonish style is not going to be a problem, because it's easier to come down. I say come down, but if you're doing cartoon style eyes, I'm just going to grab something here, like this. These eyes are easier to draw than to draw eyes like this. There's a huge difference, right? There's a huge difference. Here it's very simplified, the eyelashes and stuff like that. So that is another tutorial. The anime type eyes are another tutorial. So I'm just focusing on semi-realistic eyes. So thank you for the follow, by the way. I'm struggling much with the body. Yuri, you need to get onto my YouTube. I've got about 50 videos, and I know a couple of them talk about specifically about the male torso. So if you get on that, you'll be fine. Yes, I'm self-taught, Skatey. I am self-taught. So, right, has everyone got a pen or a pencil? Because now we're going to get into how we are going, or how I am going to teach you. So just give me a yes. Yeah, but it's a journey you can make on your own. To be self-taught, you can do it on your own. Good stuff. Okay, so everyone draw simply. Don't worry about the length. Simply draw a line like this, please. Just a line. And if you can't do that, we're gonna have a long day. It's gonna be a hard one. It's gonna be a hard one. Right. So this red line. Everyone drawn that red line. It doesn't matter how long, right? Everyone drawn that. So there's a bit of a running joke. This line here, this red line here, I'm gonna call this red line the sacred line, right? I know it's a bit dramatic. Sacred line, right? And you're gonna know why in a minute. Why do I call it the sacred line? Because this line determines pretty much everything, where everything goes, right? So I'm going to grab the blue pen now. So when you hear me say the sacred line, that is this line here. Yeah, everyone got that? So now we're going to go one step further. We are going to draw a trapezium here, quite steep. Let's call it 70 degrees, right? If 90 is here, we're talking roughly 70-degree line like so. And then we triangle it off down to here. Just like that. So when you've done that, hit the like button. I'm sure you've all done it by now. So now we are going roughly in this direction. What I'm trying to think, that would be 180. That would be 200. I don't know. I don't want to make it too complicated, but literally just draw a line like this, not as steep as this one, in this direction, like so. And then we close it off. So this is the trapezium shape that we are looking for. So what I want you to do is do another one. So not even one, let's do two. So we've got 3 sacred lines. And now you draw 3 trapeziums. I need to get something under my desk here because it's, oh, sorry about this. Because I'm bumping over my desk here. Where is that? Okay, we'll just use this for now. Right, okay, good. Sorry about that. So now, as I said, we've got 1, 2, we're not going as steep as here. Roughly to the middle, close it off. Trapezium 2. So now what you do is do another one, trapezium 3. Always connecting to our sacred line, right? Don't forget that. So we got 3. So now, in fact, I'm going to go in, I want this eye to go in a different direction because I've drawn them all going in the same direction. And I'm going this way. So I've got steep angle here. And then I box it all off. Has everyone done that now? I've been back all week. Where have you been, mate? Thank you very much for the gifts. So, everyone got that. Good stuff. Right. So now, look. What we have to do is simply round this off. I'm rounding that off. So we don't have fully an oval or elliptical shape. It's a little bit off because the eyes are not fully elliptical. But this is a good shape for the eye purely because all we have to do now is add our iris and our pupil. And I will just add one circle here, one circle here. And we've got a really cool shape already for our eye. What we have to do to make it look even more realistic, I'm going to add a parallel line here, and that represents the upper lid where our eyelashes will go. I'm going to add a parallel line here, under here, that connects to here. That's where the lower eyelid lashes are going to go. And then I will add another line on top of that, and that is actually the eyelid. I know that's a little bit complicated, but we're going to do a couple more, right? So if you're losing your way a little bit, that's not a problem. We will get there. And that's basically the shape that we need for our eye. We're going to add some details, right? So what I tend to do is I like to add some random shapes to the eye around it. So these would represent light spots. These represent light spots. And then what I'm going to do as well here is add just a very small curve like so. And then we have the corner of the eye. Thank you. Here, as you can see, I added some lashes, right? I'm going to explain to you how I added these lashes and how you can add them yourself and have a system in your head that works for you, that you understand what direction the lashes go in. Because if you don't, then you end up having spiders and very stiff eyelashes. I didn't search Ryan Otley's work. I'm sorry. I'm too busy doing my own stuff at the moment. And I do get a lot of people say to me, I should check this guy, check that guy out. And it's not always easy. Stuff like this make me believe in dead internet theory. What does that mean? I'm not sure. What's going on there? I don't know what that means. So can we keep the chat to Oh, it's a compliment. Okay, I didn't get it. Sorry. I'm a bit too old for all of this. Oh, excuse me. Okay, good. So look now. There are certain techniques that we have to understand, right? Like before, I fill the iris with lines, simple lines going in a 365-degree axis. So if you imagine, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. This is the center of the eye. And then we have our pupil here in the middle. And then what I do is I draw simple lines like so in an array going 365 degrees. Like so. So that's basically what we've got here. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you're not familiar with my YouTube channel, this is being filmed and will be published on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Ben Hin, for all your kind gifts. Much appreciated. Has anyone got any questions? How you doing, V? Nice to see you, mate. Has anyone got any questions about that? I can't find my backboard. That's so annoying. It's not. Where is he gone? I don't know where he's gone. Let me turn this over. So, has anyone got any questions about that? I'll just give you a moment. Ah, there it is. This is the backboard I need. Let's want this a bit flatter. Anyone got any questions about that? Yes, we are going to do the eye again, guaranteed. I'm just looking for something very, very quickly. Okay, good. Well, that's great. If you guys haven't got any questions, mate, that is perfect. Because we're going to do this again. We're going to do the same again, but we're going to take it another step further, right? Sacred line, right, is this line here. I will explain to you why I call it that later. So what do we add first? My YouTube is Art Walker. My YouTube is actually Art Walker. And I have, hold on, I'm going to put it, switch that back on. There you go. Watch on YouTube. So hopefully that's not too much in the way. So now, first, does anyone know what we have to do first? How do I shade that well? I will explain that also later on. What do we have to do first? Right, we got the sacred line. Not the oval. We round it off, right? So now what we have to do, first, step 1 is sacred line. Step 2 is the trapezium, right? So I'm going to write 2 is the trapezium. That's what we have to do next. Right, so what I'm doing is I've got my trapezium already here, as you can see, right? Step 3 is to round everything off. So now I'm rounding it all off within my guidelines. So, you see what I'm saying? And then we add, I'm going to actually add the eye to the side here. I want it to be looking to the side. We add our iris and our pupil simply here. And we've got an eye looking at us from a different angle. We add our upper lid. And this line here is for our eyelashes. This lower lid here is also for our eyelashes. So, what was the question? I missed the question. But be patient. It's not easy to do a live. It's not easy to do a live when the questions keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. So be patient, and hopefully my moderator will try and let me know if there are any outstanding questions. Yes, the sacred line helps to construct exactly the shape, and it also helps us align the corners of the eyes. That's what it is for. Well, this depends on the actual, well, it depends on the head, the size of the head that you've drawn. But for me, I can just gauge that. I gauge the distance between here and here. Obviously, you're not going to have an eyelid that is up here. It just doesn't make sense. It's usually, let's say, not even a fifth from here to here I just gauge that. There's no real dimension that you have to follow. I don't follow anyway. And then I've got my eyelid. They ask about the lines. Yes, there's only one line actually. There's only the sacred line. And that helps to distinguish the corners of the eyes. So that's what you have to look out for. That depends, because the circle, if you're talking about the iris, it usually takes up around half the eye. But if you are drawing, say for example, if we're drawing an anime eye, which we're not going to go into much, but if I'm drawing an anime eye, it takes up even more space. See, I've just drawn an anime eye within that same framework, and it takes up even more space. See? Thank you for the shares of the live. That's much appreciated. So, Skatey, do you know now how to draw eyes? This is the question. Jamal, how you doing? Thank you very much. I actually... Yeah, this is why we have this second line here, right? We have this second line here because this line is where our eyelashes are going to go, because they don't go directly onto the eyeball itself. There is a separation here. So that's what we're trying to aim for there. So let's go a little bit further now, because I haven't told you about the actual eyelashes. That's another mystery that people can stumble on that quite easily. You got the basics. That's where you have to start. How you doing, Kim? You're welcome, Adam. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. That's all I ask. And if I'm really supporting you, please support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. That would be the best. If you really want to keep me going, that would be the best. UK Nada, how you doing? Long time no see. Definitely going to watch. Thank you. That's what I like. That is all I ask. Good, good, good. So now we are going to talk. We've talked about the pupil, the iris, and so on. That we can take deeper and deeper and deeper, but we're going to skate over this first. And now I'm going to show you how I draw the eyelashes. So I've got my super markers here. So we don't want stiff eyelashes, right? Eyelashes are not straight. They curve and they get thinner at the tips. So you have to imagine, if we're talking about the eye as a voluminous object, and it's a spherical object, our eyelashes are going around this object, right? So now here, I'm going to draw some arrows like so. So you have to imagine you've got one eyelash that is coming directly towards you. Did you connect your phone via cable? Yes, as always. You're welcome, Tony Stank. Is that right? Is it glitching a little bit? Thank you very, very much for the gifts, by the way, and hello from Texas. Nice. Good morning, y'all. Yasmonda. Is everyone getting that? Is it a bit glitchy? I apologize if it is, but my side is pretty good, actually. Yes, it's written here, Art Walker. Watch Art Walker. There you go. Yes. Right, we'll do that in a minute, Jamal. No problem at all. We'll do that again in a minute. I'm going to do it here. So you have to imagine we've got one eyelash that comes directly towards us, right? So let's say it's this one. And then as the lashes tilt to my right, they gradually drop to the point that they look like this. They correct, the angle gets corrected as it goes down. And it's the same the other way around. The angle corrects to the point that you have the eyelashes dropping and going in the other direction, as you can see here. So I've got a lash that is coming towards me, and then they gradually have to fall to the point that they're going away from me. The same here, this one, my central one, falls gradually away. We do the same here, central, it falls away, and vice versa. That's what we're aiming for. Good, I'm glad it's working for you, Adam. I'm glad. So now I'm going to show you how I do that here. So we've got our eye here. I'm going to add a few more details. I know exactly where my eyelashes belong, right? So I'm going to do my second line here a bit closer. And I'm going to draw my second line here. So this is where my eyelashes will belong. So now I want my first lash to be going in a pretty straight direction, let's say. So now I want all of them to fall in line down to this direction here. So that's what I'm going to do. I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I now have my lashes shooting out in the right direction. And then also here, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And they're all going in the right direction. So my main one was here. Now I want them to correct to go into this direction. And from here in that direction. Just quickly, that's how you would do it. Let's make these corner ones a little bit heavier. We can see a little bit of the underlid here. Bang. Drop the pen. Is everyone getting that? Thank you, Ross. I appreciate that. Well, this is my philosophy. I want to teach people that may not have the opportunity to go to art school. Doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like. I don't want my knowledge to go unrecognized. And if you guys support me, it will help me a lot. And I will help you as much as I can. I'm doing good. Jaslim, I'm doing very good. And you? Yeah, perfect. Good. See, so that's how we do the eyelashes. Is everyone got that? Thank you, Em. I hope you're doing well, mate. I hope you're learning something. I checked you out today, actually. Yes, Jamal is in. And Jamal, I've still got your question in the back of my mind, so don't worry about that yet. We are going to get there. So is everyone clear on that now? I'm going to give you a moment to ask any questions. And I'm going to actually finish this eye off very quickly. I'm drawing it in a different direction. Because I always tend to draw in one direction. I don't know why, but it's not because of any specific reason. But I just tend to draw eyes in one direction. I don't know why. So I'm going to add a tick. And then here. So now we've got a good basic shape for an eye. I will be live for the next 15 or so minutes. Maya. And how do you form the main shape of the eye? See, so what I've written it down here, right? So we've got these steps. So now what I'm going to do is, so if that's step 1, this is step 2, Jamal, Step 1 is this sacred line. I call it that just for a bit of fun. Step 2 is this trapezium. This is what you have to be aware of. So now watch this, everyone. I'm going to tip my sacred line like this, right? Here is horizontal, and here I've drawn it slightly diagonal. Everyone probably knows now that I have to add, Jamal, this is where you add your trapezium. So that's a triangle on both sides. I'm going to round it off. Like I said, we just round it off. It's step 3. So I'm going to round it off. And as you can see, my sacred line is now tilted. So look what happens to the eye now when I draw the eye like this. I've changed the angle in which the eye is looking at us. But the principles are exactly the same. And now you could say I've got a more determined or sinister looking eye looking directly at me. That angle. Sorry about that. If I shifted it by accident, excuse me. I'm very active, very much so. This is my first one today, but usually I do 2 a day. Is everyone getting that? And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. How you doing, WS? Centurion, how you doing? Nice to see you. So now we do the same again. Now, Jamal, look again. You asked me about the iris. This is how we add detail to the iris. Remember what I said, 365 degrees, right? So if it's null and it goes right round, these lines, you have to go round like this. If this is the pupil here, we go around like this. However, you vary the lengths as well. You don't just make them one length. You do shorter ones, longer ones, shorter ones, longer ones, and so on. We add light spots like we've got here. This is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to draw my lines, always turning around, always turning around. And now I'm going to add some light to it. Usually we have some spots here of color. We add some spots here. I'm going to darken the edge here. Darkening the edge. And then we've got a pretty cool looking eye. We haven't got to the point of drawing the eyebrows, but we will do that in a moment. Is everyone getting that? I'm good, mate. I'm doing all right. I have to say, doing all right. And I already have an eye drawing tutorial on my YouTube, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. And then we can add a few lashes, and then we're pretty much ready to rumble. Anyone got any questions about that? Any questions? And if you like what you see, please hit the like button and share the live. That would be the best. And join my YouTube channel. That would be even better. Eyes are, yeah, they're easy to learn, but it's not always that easy. This one. Okay, thank you. So let's take this one to the next level. Look at what I've done here. If you imagine if you look at these eyes here that I've drawn, I've also added a drop shadow here, like so. And another, that is from the top, the lid, the eyelid from the top. So let's add some reflection. These light spots. You see that? You see that line here? This hatch here, that's very important. If you compare this one to this one looks a little bit more realistic purely because I've added this drop shadow here. Because there is a little bit of shading cast from your eyelashes and your eyelid. So that is important. See here, I haven't got it. So what I'm going to do is I want to add it roughly to there. And then I'll just add some shading. And that gives it a little bit more depth. This I'm gonna tidy this up a little bit. It's a bit messy. A little bit more angrier. Thank you, Emma. The fundamental, for me, there are not many to master. You just have to master step 1, step 2. For me, this is just how I do it. Step 2 is this. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to go. So we've got 3. Then we've got, and I'm going to do it actually in green so you can see it. That's the rounding off phase. Like so. So that's 3. And then we go. Oh, I've done it the wrong way. Ah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I've gone the wrong way. Sorry. I can still recover it. I think, yeah, I can still recover it. This is 4, right? And then we can add our eyelid. So if you kind of work within these guides, you're not far off. But you have to experiment, right? Like here, you can make it steeper, shorter, longer. You have to experiment. I'll take a look at the chat in a minute. Oops, wrong one. And then you add eye details. And then obviously we add lashes and so on. I'm just flying through it, but you get my point. So that would be roughly 5 steps. Roughly 5 steps, but obviously you'll take your time. Like here, those are the steps that I took to draw these. And as you can see, I've added a lot of hatching for the shaded areas. So for example, under the eye here, you'd have a shaded area. So we just add a little bit of shading, and also here under the eye. I'm going to add some detail to this here, like so. Ah, hello Mazzy, how you doing? I didn't see you join, I was looking down, excuse me. Is there a difference between, no, I can use, these pens are just basic pens. I've got, they're just simple ballpoint pens really. These are just ballpoint pens. This is a Bic. There's nothing special with these pens, but they work really well, by the way. they work really well. That's why I like drawing with them. And you can get some good textures with it. So let's look a little bit into the iris. How I did this iris here, for example, right? So I'm gonna cheat today. Where is it? I'm gonna grab this today. I'm gonna cheat. I don't usually use these, but I just want to use it for this particular purpose. Just so for speed. But these, I normally never use these. So if this is the iris itself, right? Obviously, you have to work out where the center of the eye is, right? So if you're struggling with that, you might have to visualize it with a cross, obviously with pencil. Yeah. I already can draw eyes, but your method is even better. Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you for that. So we add the pupil in the middle, right? Wow, like so. Remember what I said? 365 degrees, right? It's going to go all the way around. So what I would recommend is to work out where you want the light to be on your iris and pupil. So I want that to be well lit. I want another light spot here, another light spot here, another light spot here. These are just random. Unless you've got a reference, you can pretty much make those quite random. Then, as I said to you before, I'm doing these very short, but not totally exact. So it doesn't have to look exactly the same. Some a bit longer, some a bit shorter, constantly going round and round to the point that I'm back to my 360 degree point again, or the null. And then I go around it again. Now I'm stretching it even further, as you can see. Like so. Here, the edge. I'm going to do the same with the edge, but what I want to do is I'm going to add not broken line, but a slightly jagged line around the edge here. Doesn't have to be as jagged as that. And then I'm going to color it in. Like so. And then I'm going to go around with my lines again. And there you go. We've got a pretty cool looking iris drawn up in, I would say, under 3 minutes. Drop the pen. How you doing, Samuel? If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you really like what you see, follow me on YouTube, because I'm getting better by the day. The best is yet to come. So, everybody getting that? Did everyone get that? Did everyone get that? Has anyone got any questions? I'm just going to wait a moment to see if there are any questions. How would you add eyelids in a different perspective? So good question. So if this is our eyeball, right? Now, you have to obviously work out what direction your eye is looking in. What direction is it looking in? So if my eyeball is like this is a little bit more high level. This is a little bit more high level, but this is how the eyelid would curve around the eye shape. You would see the lower lid like we drew earlier. we would see some of the upper lid, and then we would see our eyelid like so. And then this would be our eye. But that's a little bit more high level. I'm not going to go too much into that, but that's how you do it. And you can add some details. And this is where our lashes would be on this line here, and also this line here. I'm telling you, mate. You give me 6 months. I'm when I'm not here on the live, I'm working my little brain, mate. Yeah. But you don't need to use this. You don't need to use that. That is just I don't even know why I used it. That's the first time I've ever used it. No, second time. Second time I've ever used it, because it's not even important. I think it's more important to draw without it, because you don't need these things. Not really. Just if you really want to correct something, then yes. Or if you've got a large circle, then you use a compass, That's standard. So, anyone got any questions before I sign off? I was planning to do around 45 minutes, and I've done 47 already. So, quick questions. Thank you, Ellipsis. And hopefully you will watch my other videos on my YouTube channel. That's where I would like you guys to go, because I will be going in that direction at some point anyway. How do you... Well, this is... I think this is a little bit too... I think that's something you're gonna have to pick that one up on your own, because then we have to draw the head from a lower level. It's a bit trickier than if... I suppose I could do it. Because, yeah, I would draw an eye from a lower level like so. But, yeah, I could probably put that like that. That's how I would do it. But I'm not here to give you guys all the answers. Some of these things you have to work out yourself. See that? So now we've got the eye from a lower angle. Have you ever done building? Yes. Yes, I have. I was training to be an architect when I was younger. I wanted to become an architect, and I was very good at technical drawing. It's funny, I don't draw a lot of backgrounds when I draw my characters and stuff like that, but that was something that perspective and stuff like that, I know things like that already. I just don't practice them anymore. But I was looking up 1, 2, I don't look up 2 point and 1 point. I know how that works already. And I was looking up 4 and 5 point perspective recently. So we'll see if I start to experiment with that as well. But I'm quite aware of 3D buildings and objects. I can do that quite well. You have to go? Okay. Excellent. You're more than welcome. I have to go also. I'm just waiting for the last few questions, coming back here for more. Well done, Emmas. Hope it helped you. What helped you learn technical drawing? Because I was looking to learn it. Technical drawing is not such a... I would start with 1 point perspective first, then I would move on to 2. Obviously, you need to use rulers, angles, vanishing points. Take your time. Technical drawing is not... I would say it's not that hard, because it's quite structured. Obviously, drawing the human body can be a bit more challenging, because we've got so many moving parts. We've got so many things that bend and twist and contort, it can be a little bit difficult. I've pretty much been drawing all my life, but now I'm actually pushing myself now. Before I was just drawing and not really worrying about it, but now I'm actually saying to myself, I want to draw this, I want to learn that, I want to learn how, you know, the masters did things, and that's my goal. So as I showed you guys before, I'm drawing anime eyes, I'm drawing, let's say, semi-realistic eyes, and then I draw quite realistic eyes. So I'm starting to really broaden my skill set. Guten Tag, Inken. Leider habe ich gestern deinen Livestream verpasst. Yeah, you can find that on my YouTube channel. If you're looking for the fundamentals of hand drawing, I even posted, there was a tutorial posted yesterday on how to draw hands. So if you want to learn to draw hands, you can find that one online. And then you can find even cool ones on, say, for example, how to draw the torso. What else did I do? There's tons. There's absolute tons on there. I don't even know what I haven't got on there anymore. How to draw the male body, muscles and stuff like that. How to draw the leg. You can find all of those online. Heads and so on. So you've got a few hours work there. Few hours work. Good. So let's get rid of these quickly. So, and just quickly before I finish up, grab an image of an eye, and wherever you see slight shading, that's where you add your hatch. Like here, I just add a little bit of hatch here. Here we would have a darker corner here in the eye or on the lid itself, and then maybe we'll have a slight shade here, a slight shade here. This is what you have to, this is why you can take references, refer to them, and then add what you want to make your artwork look a little bit more special. Like here, I'll just add some, this would be the eyebrow. Oh, we haven't done the eyebrow. Forgot, sugar. I think we have to do that very quickly. So we've done the pupil, we've done the iris. Obviously that would be blacked out, right? We can black that out. You don't have to black out everything. So let's just black out part of it. And just before I go, because it's my bad, I forgot to do the actual eyebrow. If you're drawing an eyebrow, you just have to think about where it is, where I haven't even got any space here. Let's just draw another eye very quickly here. Like so. Let's go here. Let's go in this direction this time. So let me just quickly fly through this. So we've got our eyelid, pupil here. It's like so. So now we've got our eye, and this is the corner of the eye, and the bridge of the nose would be roughly here, right? So the eyebrow is roughly, I would say, yeah, you could say one eye width here, above here. So let's just draw that. It goes around the skull, but that's another thing that we have to sit and work on together. And the eyebrow hair also corrects itself. It doesn't stay stiff. So if it starts going up in this direction, it tips every time to the point that the hair is actually going downwards. Do you see what my point? So this is where it starts going upwards first and then downwards here. So we're going to go up, slightly tilting, tipping, tilting, tipping, tilting, tipping, to the point that we are now going downwards. And then we've got our eyebrows. Obviously, you'll draw them a lot more tidier than this, but that's a good start. And once you understand that principle, you won't be struggling with eyebrows again. There you go. So, hold on, let me see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, sorry about it. I forgot to do the eyebrows. Nice. Oh, nice. Well, Delta, you're in the right place. Oh, I would love to see that image. So if you do actually do that image, let me know. I'd like to see it. Because I'm looking for inspiration all the time. So if you use this technique and it helps you draw some cool eyes, and you can mention me, I'd love to see it. Joe Star, nice name. Like the name, Joe Star, wicked. Thank you. Yeah, that's my goal. If I don't share, it's just going to be... I like the fact that I can inspire people, if I'm very honest. So that's why I do the lives. And I don't get tired. I quite enjoy them, actually. It sets challenges for me. And I know there are people out there that are literally using my technique, coming up with really good things. And it's like I'm leaving a good energy around me somehow. So we see. Well, hopefully it works for everyone. Oh, that sounds a bit scary, Delta. Maybe I don't want to see it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. The eyelashes, Joy, you have to imagine them like that. But you can watch this video. I'm not going to do it again, but you can get to this point on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see this, how I do the eyelashes. And that is explained here. Maybe around 15 minutes into the video. And I'll try and post this one today. Oh, you got into art school. Nice. Brilliant. Now someone can teach you how to draw properly. I will, Delta. I will. Well done. Well done. I'm happy for you. Cheers. Thank you, Delta. That's really nice. And thank you to everyone that sent those kind gifts. If you want to draw angry, you just have to draw your sacred lines like that. Whoops. I keep shifting it, sorry. If you want to draw angry, you draw sacred lines like that. I know that's a bit over the top. Sacred line I know it's really over the top, but it's just the way I call it. So now we've got the eyes dipping down in a downwards direction. So then you would be looking a little bit like that. Even though these eyes don't look very angry, but that would be the way you would do it. Yeah, that looks quite angry actually. See, and we've got the bridge of the nose, we've got the eyebrows here. And if a teardrop is pretty simple, you can just, I don't know, let me just add it. You have to just imagine how water flows really, and it flows like so. And then you've got a teardrop. And obviously a little bit of reflection would make it a little bit more realistic. But that's a teardrop. From 3/4 view. Yeah, because you have to remember the eye is a curved object. Here it looks straight. Here it looks straight, but this is where it gets a bit tricky, because this line is now straight. But once you start lifting and turning, these lines, they bend around the eye. I just drew a tear here. I've just drawn it. So I'm on my time limit now. I apologize, but I have to go because you have another appointment today, and I've burnt into my 45 minutes already. So if you're not following me, you should. If you enjoyed this, that's the reason why you should follow me. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube, you should also, because you can find all these videos there. And I'm sure that they've helped you very much. So please support me as I'm trying to support you. And I'm going to wish you all a lovely Sunday. Thank you to all that joined me. Thank you to all that subscribed to me and are now following. And I will see you all very soon. Take care. Have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.